What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be trying something new today. We're going to be ranking my friend's best and worst tattoos. Once again, welcome back. As I said before, we're going to be ranking and going over my friend's best and worst tattoos. Now, I know that most of you probably think that tattoo artists probably get the best tattoos, but in this video, we're going to show you that that's absolutely not the case. We're going to be going over and then ranking the good tattoos first, and then we're going to make our way to the bad tattoos. So make sure you stick around. Now, let me introduce you to my 5 friends. First, we've got the 3 people that I work with here in Chicago: Raf Corona, Tom Osvat, and Gary Parisi. Next, we've got Andre Vasiliev, who works in Rhode Island. And last but never least, Jarrell Eli, who works out of Atlanta, Georgia. First up, we've got Raf Corona with this Koopa Troopa sticker. Now, I know this tattoo was done by Tom, but this tattoo is absolutely phenomenal. This genuinely looks like a sticker peeling up off Raf's skin. The shadows are in all the right places. I love the gray wash outline around the sticker, just separating the whites and grays from the skin tone. The green is probably the most saturated green I've ever seen. It almost looks fake. The outline is nice and bold, and you know how I love varying line weights. The outside outline is nice and thick, and it's got all these thinner outlines on the inside. It just helps make for a more interesting photo. I like how the artist, Tom, didn't go crazy with the folds or creases. Just one good crease at the bottom, and it actually looks like it's folded. I like the use of grays along with the whites around the outside perimeter. It just helps achieve that realistic effect. Even the white outline on top of the gray, in between the gray wash outline and the color, it just gives it a really nice edge. It's also just a really cute mashup of Ninja Turtles and Mario. 2 things Tom and Raf both really love. I don't know, overall this tattoo is just an A+ in my book. So congrats, Raf, on the rad tattoo, and good job, Tom. Speaking of Tom, let's check out his best tattoo. I know this tattoo is done by Giancarlo, who is also a stupendous tattooer. And this tattoo is well settled in. If I had to guess, it's probably a year old by now. But all these outlines healed great. I love this red shading in between each chain link. And I love this solid black, especially near the top of the handle. Now, I know this back of the knee must have hurt like hell, but Tom is a trooper and I know he can take it. I'm also really surprised at how well that held up, being in an area that bends and moves a lot. I love the addition of the smoke coming off the ball of the flail and how it's got these little black dots in there as well. It's just some nice detail. You can tell this tattoo is fit to the area with what Tom had left, which I really love about a lot of neo-traditional tattoos. It wasn't just stamped on there and they tried to force it in, but it was genuinely made for Tom's leg. The chain breaking off is a really nice touch. It also gives a lot of motion to the ball of the flail, especially with those flames and smoke. It's just a big, bold, badass piece. Congratulations, Tom, on owning this dope-ass tattoo. Up next, we've got Gary Parisi with his wife as Darth Vader. I also know the artist of this tattoo as well. It's done by Sad Amish out of California. And this tattoo has to be one of my personal favorites. It just really fits the style that I love. My favorite part about this tattoo is that transparent skirt, or whatever it is. I don't know women's clothing, but being able to capture that transparency in clothing like this with just stipple shading is absolutely mind-blowing. How the artist managed to make this black on the inside of the skirt not so black, making it look a bit see-through, it's just so impressive. As well as the white stippled shine on the skirt and on the bra. It just seems like the artist really knew how to capture value and texture in such a limited palette. Even these little shadows in the armpit and in between the thighs are just done really well. Even the wrinkles in the hands and fingers and just all these little details really put this tattoo over the top. The red and lightsaber is also just the perfect addition to really bring this tattoo together. Because I guess you could have black or white coming from the saber, but it just wouldn't look as nice. As I said before, this is just one of my favorite styles of art, and the artist absolutely crushed it. So congrats, Gary. Next up, we've got Andre's best tattoo, and this one was done by artist Levi Murphy. Again, another neo-traditional tattoo, and I absolutely love the way that neo-traditional tattoos fit on the body. The way you can compose these tattoos to fit the body and give a really nice flow is just, it's always impressive to me. The embellishments on the helmet are a really nice touch. It's not just plain, but the artist decided to add a lot of nice detail. You can even see the chain link coming down from the helmet, so I think that's a really nice touch as well. Going down to the horse's head with the horse's hair, it adds a really nice flow to the overall tattoo. And I'm a big fan of that horse's mouth. I don't know what it is, but it just looks really nice. There's a lot of nice muscle definition in the horse's face, which just adds a nice overall aggressiveness to it. And the way this tattoo ends at the very bottom with this orange just frames the tattoo very nicely. He even went down on the hand with this filigree looking design just to finish this thing off in a nice proper way. From shoulder to knuckles, this is a rock solid tattoo. I'd love to see the inside of this thing, if there is anything inside of there, or if Andre's just a really big baby. And everyone go tell Andre that he needs to get a new haircut, because that thing is something else. Excellent job to the artist, and congrats once again, Andre, on having such a killer tattoo. And lastly, Jarrell's best tattoo. Now obviously Jarrell's not a professional photographer, so we're working with what we've got. Jarrell did tell me that this is a Korean tiger along with a South African shield. So not only is the tattoo badass, but the story behind it is badass as well, because Jarrell is half South African and half Korean. The saturation in this tattoo is crazy. The way these light oranges are butted up next to the black with a darker orange in between the lighter oranges, this thing screams. The blue and the greens are a super nice addition to this orange, and just the overall design of this thing is wild. I love the crazy look of this tiger's face, and it almost reminds me of Jarrell's work. I think it's safe to say there's some inspiration going back and forth. You can clearly tell that the Zulu shield is made from cowhide. It's just a really nice addition. Not all tattoos have to have a story attached to them, but when they're this well done and it has a good story, it just makes it that much better. Killer work, Jarrell. Just get better at taking photos. Now it's time to rank these tattoos from 1 to 5, starting with my least favorite, which doesn't mean it's bad by any means, because these are all fantastic tattoos. This is just my personal taste. At number 5, we've got Andre's tattoo, and I have to say again that these are some of the best tattoos, so this is really hard. But one of the reasons that I put this at number 5 below the others are maybe its legibility, and I kind of wish that the orange flowers up top were either purple or blue, something that contrasts that gold in the skull's helmet. But again, I couldn't do this, so who am I to say? I don't know why I decided to rank these. This is like trying to rank an all-star baseball team. I mean, they're all great. Don't kill me. At number 4, we've got Tom's tattoo with this neo-traditional flail. And again, I love this tattoo. I think it's perfect the way it is. I would like to see those chain links metallic gold, but that's just my personal flavor. I'm clearly biased towards gold and metallic. This is really hard, Jeff. I don't know why we decided to do this.
You're ruining your friendships. I'm good with mine.
But again, this tattoo is sick. There just has to be a 4th place. At number 3, we've got Jarrell's tattoo with this South Korean tiger and South African Zulu shield. I really wish we could see more of this tattoo, but, you know, he makes a great tattooer. I'll say that. There is a wiggle here and there, like in the whiskers, but overall this thing is solid. I think it's just the story, as well as solid application, that pushed this thing to number 3. At number 2, we've got Raph's tattoo with this Koopa Troopa Ninja Turtle sticker mashup. I absolutely love the illusion of this tattoo and how it actually looks like a real sticker, as well as the solid saturation. I mean, you can't really get much better than that. Sometimes you see sticker tattoos and they don't really read as a sticker, but this one absolutely reads like a sticker. And at number 1, the only one that's left, Gary's Darth Vader pinup. I think this thing has all the bells and whistles. It has a certain finesse to it and a lot of skill to pull this one off. It looks simple, but there's so much happening. And the details, from the helmet all the way down to the feet, this thing really does have it all. Congrats, Gary, on being my favorite of the best tattoos. Now let's get on to the worst tattoos. I can't wait for this. We'll go in the same order, and we'll start with Raph's with this 213 tattoo. Now I do believe this is an area code for Los Angeles, where Raph is from, which is funny because it's backwards of the Chicago area code, which is 312. He might just be dyslexic. Now I don't know what's more embarrassing, this tattoo or those beaded bracelets. Now this tattoo is definitely not the worst thing I've seen. It definitely had a rough heel, but being on that part of the wrist, it's almost certain to happen. To be honest, I'm surprised that that is his worst tattoo. Knowing Raph, I would expect a lot worse. Some would say his opinions are worse than his tattoos. No, Raph, this one's really not too bad. You don't really have anything to worry about. Next up, we have Tom's tattoos, and Tom sent over a lot of tattoos. This looks like it takes up the entirety of the inside of his leg. Looks like somebody grew up without a sketch pad. I don't know which tattoo is worse, the hydrant, the mushroom, or the bats. They're all kind of sad. There's a lot going on here. We've got the shark tooth, the bats, the mushrooms, the fire hydrants, the frowny face. This one really reminds me of the bathroom wall over at the exit in Chicago, if you know what I mean. And what's funnier, these tattoos are next to his best tattoo. The contrast is great. It clearly looks like a lot of ink fell out of those bats. I'm sure they used to all be solid black, but that's what you get for getting tattooed at your house. I don't really know if Tom got tattooed at his house, but it looks like it. The mushroom's honestly not too bad at all. The black stayed nice and black. It's there. There's not really any wiggly lines. Solid tattoo. I don't know if Tom got the hydrant on his leg for his dogs to piss all over, but I know he's got chihuahuas, so I'm sure that's a bit too high. Well, thanks, Tom, for sharing these awful tattoos. Much appreciated. Next up, we've got Gary's bad tattoo, and I'm pretty sure he did this one on himself, if I'm not mistaken. By looking at this, you'd think that Gary doesn't know how to tattoo, but he's not that bad. I promise. The only thing that I can really tell what's going on is the top part of this tattoo, which looks like some sort of superhero. If I had to guess, I'd say Magneto, but I don't know superheroes. You got me. Maybe somebody can let me know in the comments below, or I can just ask Gary later. I've seen better drawings on the side of dumpsters. Not that I'm hanging around a lot of dumpsters. Well, at least this thing's light enough to cover up if he eventually wanted to. Not the worst, definitely not the best, or maybe the worst. We'll see. Up next, we've got Andre with this terrible looking spider, and the number is 617, which I'm assuming is another area code. I don't know what it is with tattooers and area codes. You'd think they're creative, but here we are. And I would assume this is an area code since Andre does work near Rhode Island. This spider looks like it's been smashed to all hell, or maybe it got bit by a spider and had this nasty infection. That's what you get for living in Boston, Massachusetts. No, this thing definitely looks like it got infected at some point. It just looks like a lot of the skin and ink just fell right out, which might be for the best. It looks like that spider has an eye on its back, which I don't know if Andre knows this, but that's not where spiders' eyes are. I don't know what those 3 random dots are at the bottom. I know that generally has a lot of different meanings, but in this case, it just looks like a horrible spider bite. Either way, this is a great distraction from his haircut. This might be one of the worst ones I've seen, but we'll find out. Now, Jarrell told me that he didn't have a bad tattoo, but by looking at this photo of his good tattoo,
Lie detector determined that was a lie.
and maybe that's why he didn't take a wider photo, so I wouldn't see what the hell is going on here. Hopefully this one doesn't have personal meaning and I'm just shitting all over it, but that's what I do. It does say, if I'm not mistaken, no guilt in life, but no regrets, as some would say. All my friends are gonna hate me and I'm here for it. All right, now on to the rankings. Let's find out what sits at number 5, or the best of the worst tattoos, or the least worst. At number 5, I gotta give it to Raph because it's not that bad. It's barely there, and this is such an easy fix-up. Or you could always slide those bracelets down and cover that thing. I don't know what's better. At number 4, we've got Jarrell's tattoo. Again, not that bad. It all looks like it's stuck in there, and knowing Jarrell, I'm sure it has some kind of meaning. At number 3, we've got Tom's tattoos, because even though some of that ink did fall out, you can clearly tell what it is. It's a bunch of bats, a mushroom, a fire hydrant, a frowny face, a shark tooth, a Mario mushroom. The list goes on. Saying these are your worst tattoos, you're in pretty good shape. At number 2, we've got Andre's tattoos with this horribly infected looking spider. I mean, you can tell what it is, and the numbers are clearly legible. It just looks like you don't know how to take care of your own tattoos. It's almost as bad as, you guessed it, his haircut. And at number 1, we've got Gary's tattoo because I have no idea what this is. I can tell there's a face, but the quality of the outlines is nil, and I have no idea what's going on at the bottom of this thing. I don't know if that's supposed to be electric or birds or cracks in the sidewalk. Or he was just upset about the lack of hair on the inside of his arm and he wanted to make up for it. Well, that wraps it up for the rankings. You guys let me know in the comments below if you think I got it right. Did Gary have the best and worst tattoo? I think that just goes to show you the range of quality on most tattooers. Although we may have a small handful of good tattoos, most of us have absolutely terrible tattoos. Myself included. I have some of the worst tattoos I've ever seen. And maybe to save face, I'll invite these 5 guys over to critique my tattoos so I don't lose my friends. Well, let me know if you guys like this video and if I should rank more of my friends' tattoos or other people's tattoos, YouTubers, athletes, you name it. Let me know below. As always, don't forget to subscribe while you're here, and I will see you guys next week.